Hey, I'm here with MiniJam69 doing some first impression playthroughs, just playing some of the entries, giving my thoughts and opinions about them. I am here with Duckgeon, and oh my god, I love this character spray. You can never go wrong with like ducks or just like small birds for characters. I might be slightly biased, I really like small birds. And I'm already messing around. Ooh. So there's like no music, it seems. Oh man, that's. I'm used to working in Unity, and I'm pretty lazy when it comes to like getting pixel art stuff to work. So I'm pretty sure this is like the sword spray has like pixel perfect rotation, which is you see how like the pixels, like you're not just rotating a pixelated sprite. It actually. Oh, that's so cool. You don't see that very often. Well, I don't. At least I haven't, or at least I haven't noticed it. That's cool. Well, when I hit up or down, I move quite a bit. So I don't know what this game's about. I assume I'm doing some dungeoneering as a duck. So the theme is hell, and the limitation is cards had to be a mechanic. The theme was optional, but let's go see. Oh, I feel really slidey when I go up. Like up or down sometimes just like slides me across. Whoa, is it like physics based? Huh, that seems interesting. Oh jeez. Those things came at me fast. I think they were moving. Ooh, that's a really nice particle effect. But it seemed like the enemies were like moving before I even came. Oh. So there's the card. Is there like a way to... I read the instructions in the description, and all I remember is click to slice, WASD to move. And also, once you exit the room, there will be upgrades. Ooh. I like that you could like knock the projectiles back. Can I hit them into the enemy? Oh, I can. Oh, that's fun. I like stuff like that. It's like a parry. Alright. So that's move speed. Okay, so those are just straight upgrades. Gotcha. I like the health icons being just like the full blown character, because why not? You have the space. Jeez, yeah, those hands just start rushing me immediately. Oh man, that's a good one. Wow, that slide is crazy. Like I just go so far up. Like I let go. When I say here, I've let go'd. Here. I was like right here when I let go, and I ended up here. That's really long. It doesn't feel horrible though, like in combat. I don't... It's one of those things that seems like it would be more janky than it is, but it's pretty good. So immediately, this game has some pretty good like game feel. Like you know which way you're aiming. This is slightly unrelated to the game feel, but it's good that you can know exactly which way you're aiming. Stuff like that isn't always present in, especially jam games. But yeah, the game feels pretty good. Like when you hit enemies, you can tell. When you get hit, it's pretty obvious. Oop. Oh, jeez. Killing enemies is satisfying because of the massive explosions. Yeah, that slide though does feel really janky, and I don't really know what the power-ups do. Like, some of them are pretty obvious based on, like, their symbol or effect. Like, move speed was pretty clear. What the hell was that? There was, like, almost, like, groan sound? Also, my god, can these guys... can these guys leave me alone? Nice. Yeah, so this is obviously move speed, but I don't know what that orange arrow was. Oop. But this is a really good entry. Got everything you need. I'm curious to see if there's more ending or more enemies. Because you never know how much like... Oh, no. Oh, oh oops. Huh. Yeah, I kind of like accidentally completely launched myself out of the room before I got the upgrade, but that's fine. That was just me being kind of dumb. Is that groaning like those big knight dudes in the other room? Enter the Duckgeon. I don't know, well, big oof. I'm curious if the if there's like an ending, or if it is like going to be just a infinite gameplay model. Yeah, man, that slide is really, it's really awkward. Oh. Seems like the collisions might be slightly off when like aiming up, but not sure. God, the duck is adorable though. But it seems like you got pretty good, like a pretty good set of enemies. I kind of, and I've brought this up before in other entries, but it is like, it is good that your enemies are like distinct too, not just in a like visual way or like even in a mechanics way, but what they make me do, like specifically because this guy shoots projectiles and doesn't move much. I kind of want to run around him so he can't hit me, so it's easier to dodge, while the hands force me to run away from them. That's really good. Man, I just love pixel perfect, like, when I've like, whenever I've worked with pixel art, and specifically Unity, I've never been able to get like perfect pixel stuff working because, I don't know, I'm lazy. So whenever I see it, it's just like super cool. That is a little weird how it seems to take a while to like load enemies in, but like I can still move, so it's not like there's an infinite loop or anything, or like a really long like for loop, so I don't know. Super weird. I actually didn't notice what program this was made on. I don't know if it was made in like Unity or something else. It's cool that these guys can hit each other because I can kind of like cheese them slightly like that. Ayo. Something that I think could have added like a... Wait, are these guys throwing my sword at me? How dare you? Waste swords. Oh jeez, these guys are really spicy. Oh damn. Well, I've already gotten hit. That's a great start. I'm doing fantastic. I'm good at games. Okay, so power upgrade. Something that might have been nice is like to give different options. Maybe spawn like 3 power-ups and then despawn all of them. Just a suggestion. Random thought. But yeah, this is pretty good. It's really fun. Like dodging enemies, making them hit each other feels really nice. They don't seem to want to do that very often. Oh well. Yeah, these controls are really slippery though, just because like going down can like make you really slide. I don't know if that's like just the browser version or something, because I am playing in browser right now, so I don't know what that does. Is that like range? Oh well. Man, those hands. Aha, I knew there would be hands, so I started going like down in a direction. Because the movement's so fast, I'm really glad this is like a single screen thing. Makes it a lot like easier to kind of keep track of what's going on. Like I go in and I immediately can survey what's going on. I don't have to like run around to see what enemies I have to worry about. That can always be a really good thing. Of course, it doesn't suit every sort of game. I almost feel like I have to reflect these. The sword has like a really short. Oh my god. Like a really short range. But man, it really is satisfying to like hit and kill things. Although it feels like deflecting doesn't work on every type of projectile, and like that felt delayed. But it feels like the reflect doesn't work on every kind of projectile for some reason. And I don't know what would be the difference. Okay, yeah, it's a lot easier to deflect these guys' things. I probably should have been doing that from the start. Oh. Okay. I'm just going to die. I already got hit. And that feels bad to get if you're already at full, because then you don't get anything. You could kind of like, in situations like that, what you could do is you can kind of just like steal from Downwell. In Downwell, they do the thing where health upgrades in Downwell, there's like a progress bar above your HP bar, and if you get like enough health items, when you're already at max health, eventually you can get more max health. It's kind of like if you're doing well, we'll give you a reward, sort of. Like if you're doing really well, it's not easy. Then we'll give you even more. That can, if it's like too easy to do though, like you can kind of lead into problems where, like if you get hit at all, you just want to stop. It's like, well, I got hit. That's why they do the meter. That's why they don't just do like a full if you get a health item while you're full. It's because if it's so good to be full, then as soon as you get hit once, it's just like, yeah, I might as well just restart this run if you get hit early enough. His sword range is really short. Okay, so let's do this. There's gonna be a sword dude? Yeah. I like cheese him to kill all these dudes for me. Let's go. Ayo, more damage. Wait, is this guy firing like way faster, or is that just me? Can you guys like fire more often, please? Thank you. Well, I almost died there. I need to be more careful. Man, that was unfortunate. The deflect doesn't seem too reliable, but the range is like so short that I kind of need to get closer. Ooh. Like I need to get too close almost. Especially because it doesn't seem there's any like anticipation on the like the fire. There's no like pre-fire animation. Which I mean, hell, that sort of stuff is pretty complicated. And 72 hours is not a lot of time. Wow, that guy nearly like did the big brain and launched this guy straight into me so he could just like annihilate me. Those guys are kind of fun to like 1v1 in like basically like table tennis. Man, I do want to keep playing. It is actually, like... It's really enjoyable. Sorry if I'm not talking much, I'm just, like, trying to focus, because it is kind of hard. Just because the movement's slightly janky and the range is kind of short. So you have to be kind of careful. I wonder if I restart my browser, like, or if I, like, refresh the page, if the movement will be less. I'm gonna try that. Let me just double check. Some bugs with audio. Updated version. Or the version. I could try the updated version. That'd probably be more to... Probably be more what the dev wants to see, because he probably's already, like, since he's updated it. Unless this is the same version. This might be the same version. Where did I save that? Oh, there it is. This might be the same game, but let's do it. Either way, it works. It feels the same. Okay. Oh wow, that is way loud. That is too loud. Let me kill these things. Okay, I need to turn that down. I forgot that was gonna be an issue. This is the most professional setting. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, let's do this. So I got a movement speed up, which almost isn't very helpful just because of like the slide. I think it might extend it. Oh man. Yeah, that's why the anticipation frame is kind of important. It's because I don't know if I can get close to enemies without being completely annihilated for... I can't tell if their fire rate is like slightly randomized too. Definitely feels like there's some sort of logic behind the fire rate, because it's not super consistent, which is kind of good. Just because it makes the enemy more less predictable, which can lead to more interesting, like, it's harder to cheese them. I really like these guys' sprites. They're really cute. Well, the skulls are more menacing, but they kind of make me think of, just because I like the open and just the overly opening and closing the mouth constantly. I don't know why it makes me think of just like cartoon skulls. I haven't gotten very far, so I can't tell if the game is infinite or if there's like a boss. I think room 4 is when the knights get introduced. That run was going poorly anyways. Oh, please. Let's kill this knight. Yeah, I only took one hit while killing that knight. That's good. That's good. And then 2 knights. Oh. I was almost like getting ready for a boss. Just like, oh hey, boss fight time. So this is as far as I've gotten before. So if I can get past this floor, if there's nothing new, I'll probably just call that, because it's kind of hard to get this far at all, just because these knights are pretty brutal. They also don't really have any sort of anticipation for their triple throw, so I'm kind of just getting ready. A really kind of cheap way to do anticipation is just to, I don't know if this is Unity, but if it is Unity, one way you could do it is, since these all look like they were probably colored in their own program because you have yellow eyes and red, what you could do to kind of cheat out anticipation is you basically create a coroutine or just something to keep track of an alpha value, and you just basically you just turn the sprite. I wasn't able to get my thought out earlier just because I was kind of playing in this game, just because of the sliding and the short range. I kind of had to focus. But basically what you could do is basically scale the color towards black or towards red or something, so that they just start to change color. It doesn't look great if you don't have I guess a way to make it look better is to have some sort of shader that does this, but basically the easy cheap way is to just scale its color to red, and then once it hits max red, you just set it back to 0 and it fires its projectile, so it just looks like it's just as a easy sort of cheat way to do anticipation. Because it's really, really scary, especially because I only have a melee attack other than deflecting bullets. It's really scary to get close to these guys, because they could just instantly pop me, because they could just spawn a projectile straight inside of me. Giggity. But yeah. This game's pretty addictive though. It's really solid. It's a really solid core loop of just run around, fight enemies with projectile deflection. Although the collision box on the sword seems to cause a little bit of jank with deflecting, but what's a game jam without a little bit of bugginess? Am I right? Oh, that was pretty funny. I like it when they shoot each other. That's pretty great. Again, the visuals are still fantastic, especially the explosion particle. I don't know what would cause that weird load time. Wait, can you only deflect one projectile at once? Man, their formation is bullshit. Wow, that was close. I almost sprinted into that sword. Why did I move? But yeah, something to keep in mind is that if this is an infinite gameplay model, if this isn't, I mean, if it's infinite, then how it is fine. But if there is a boss fight I can get to, then I have no way of knowing that, which can create not really kind of demotivation, but there's less curiosity, so to say, to keep going, because it's particularly important when you have random generation, because you can't tell if it is level based. If you're playing a game that isn't procedurally generated, for example, you know that eventually there will be no more generated content, because you can only make a certain amount of content in a finite amount of time. But with with procedural generation, you never know till you know, because procedural generation is really good at going on forever. But that's just a minor thing. Again, this game's really solid. Stay away from me! Man, those hands they're mean. Something that's a little... Ooh. One sec. I kind of wish I had like a card hand thing like somewhere so I can know exactly what power-ups I do have. I don't think there's like a pause menu. Yeah, there's no like pause menu that shows me. That's one of those features that, like, for example, like Binding of Isaac does really well, is that they have they have every upgrade you have in your pause menu, including like all the stat ups. Ah, dang. Yeah, like, man, there I don't even know what I picked up. I think I saw blue for like a frame. God, I love the duck. He is adorable and on a quest. Eh, eh. Dear God. Can you guys, like, hit each other? You know, instead of... This is unfair. I only have one sword. This feels like a final boss. Just all of the most powerful beings. Well, I don't think I'm going to be getting any farther than that. The sentry was really cool. Very simple combat or loop, which is just swing your sword, hit dudes. But there's also the deflection, actually. That does add like a pretty interesting thing to the proceeding. It's just that with like without anticipation frames, you almost can't get close to the enemies. Specifically, like the projectile enemies, you can't get close to them because you try to get close to them, you're guaranteed to get hit at least once. So, and then you have to back away because then they'll fire again soon. So you just go in, you get a slash, and then you have to back out. And when you go in, you're basically almost guaranteed to get hit once. So you're basically just playing it like a deflection game. But to be honest, it was kind of fun to just like try to lure the enemies to hit each other. It is unfortunate that I did end up with like a bunch of stacks occasionally where they were like stacked so close together that their projectiles would spawn like too far away. But yeah, overall pretty good, especially for you know, a jam game. 72 hours is not a lot of time to do anything. So yeah, God, that's the duck is yeah, it's a duck. The duck is so like bouncy. He's just excited to go through hell again. I think generally the color palette's really good too. Just like the purple is kind of like almost desaturated and everything else is pretty bright. Although this red is a little dark. It might blend in slightly, but it's not like you're going to lose track of these guys, literally, mainly because they have bright, glowy eyes. Like, I can kind of squint, I can take my glasses off, and I can, like, close one eye, barely have one eye open, and I can still tell where they all are, just because their eyes are really bright, so that's good. Again, I think the enemy design is pretty good. It's always good to have it generally seems to work in game jams where you have one projectile enemy and like a chaser enemy, because that just leads to you'll be being chased, so you have to circle around, so you're like going around, but you also have to pick which one do you want to kill first. Something that I like noticed from another jam entry that was pretty good is that a way you can kind of like you kind of did the reverse of it, but which is that you can mix up the room types so that basically you have some rooms that are only projectile enemies and some rooms that are only like the chaser enemies. And it seems like you have that in the one I'm thinking of, they only have chaser enemies. But here you have rooms where there's like only projectile dudes. And then there's some mixes of both, so that's pretty cool. Ooh, that is pretty good. It's one of those things that, like, when you have combat that just feels pretty good, which you do, it's just, if it wasn't for, like, the slightly jank movement with, like, the sliding, it would feel a lot better, but having just combat, like, that's just satisfying, like this is, like, there's a little sound effect when you hit the projectile, when the projectile hits the enemy, they flash red, there's a, like, sound effect. Killing the enemies has a unique animation and like also an explosion. It just feels really good to kill things. So you can't go wrong with that. So most of the time, so in games you generally want like more interesting decisions as things go on. So I think it would have been a big improvement if you had multiple cards out, just like as a pick one. Because I'm not making a decision when I see cards. I'm just picking up the card. But to be honest, jam games, like, man, 72 hours? Never know. Could always use yeah. You could always use music. Music makes everything better. IMO, in my opinion. I mean, obviously there's some good uses not to have music, but find a music generator online, slap something in. Maybe not. Like, that's the question. Would you rather have no music or bad music? Maybe bad music, but, like, that's really quiet. Yeah, just so you hear something. I like the sound effects on these guys. And I feel like this might have been a bug, but it was kind of interesting to hear them from, like, the previous room. Like, hear the before I even get to their room is pretty, because then I know they're coming. It's kind of like how yeah, I was gonna say like an example regarding like boss doors, but that's a bit different. Oh, I do want to get farther. Oh man, I just walked into that one. Man, this game's pretty tough. The triple sword dudes, they mess you up. And I think that a lot of the difficulty does come from like a lack of anticipation frames, so you can never know if you can go in to hit people. So you have to basically deflect projectiles. And that can be really hard when you can't deflect multiple projectiles at once. But overall, again, really good polish on like killing and hitting enemies. Really good job on the art. I really enjoy the art. But yeah, I think like just very minor changes, like anticipation and just like small bug fixes with like this movement. And other than that, like, and with that would be like super solid. Great work, my dude. Cheers.